I have been fired from multiple jobs.
My father has worked
Yes.
in a power plant.
Yes.
I grew up in that culture of power plant township
Yes.
where all our engineers around me, they are setting up such big power plants, and their satisfaction of erecting and commissioning
Yes.
a unit
Yes.
is all the level different from what we are talking about cultural difference
Yes.
or disharmony. It is a different feeling altogether.
Feel. So India is diverse,
Yes.
right? And everybody is carrying cultural baggage and trauma. It's one traumatized person meeting another traumatized person. And Arey yaar, bhai, I can do this and I can do this better than what I'm being told to do. How to work within our company. It was called the spirit and the letter. There's an acronym very popular in Bangalore, the TDC. It's not just Delhi folk. It's not just Punjabis and Biharis who are working together. The rest of India is with us. If you're working in this industry, I think everybody will agree. People are the soul of this industry.
Hi, Paresh.
Hi Sam. Hi Shonali. How are
Hi
you?
Paresh. All
Thank you
good.
for having me
You
here.
tell us, how are you? How are you feeling?
I'm good. How are you?
Great.
Very cool. So, we're just having that conversation about you having a family history
Right.
of
We were talking about our families.
and you have a family history of 800 years. So, why don't we start with that? There cannot be anything
Yeah.
better.
So we were talking about our respective families, and we were saying, we've all been in Delhi for a bit. In my case, my father came from Pakistan. He was 5 years old when the partition happened. But my mom's family is actually a rarity in Delhi now. They are Pakka Delhi walas. So Delhi ke Mathur hain. They've been in and around Delhi for about 800 odd years. Their presence in Delhi predates the Mughals. They flourished under the Mughals and flourished under the British. And today, Delhi for them, while they've been here in many Delhis, today's Delhi is still something they are getting used to. So that is Delhi, and I guess that is every big city that's been around for some time. So I think that is the conversation we were having, and they're a rarity now. Now, लोग कहते हैं हम दिल्ली वाले हैं, तो वो अपना सर खुजलाने लगते हैं कि not really. I mean, you guys moved 30 years ago. You may have yet to see India Gate. तो अभी है गुंजाइश है. So yeah, it's been an interesting change vis-a-vis the city, from a city that had basically drained out post 47. Because what we need to understand is Delhi was a Mughal city,
Yes.
and it was also an Islamic city.
Yes.
In fact, I think I may be wrong, but the last census, there were more Muslims in Delhi than there were Hindus. The last census that was carried out by the British, and post 47, there was this huge outflow of Muslims over a period of time, and there was an inflow of people from Western Punjab, especially, which changed the culture and the ethos of the city very rapidly.
Okay.
And I think Delhi was just recovering from it when 71 happened. Another set of people looking for a place to stay, uh, East Pakistan, and then the big influx of both skilled, semi-skilled, and unskilled labor from the heartland, from the Hindi heartland, UP, Bihar. So in my 47 years, I've seen a lot of changes. Where we are sitting today used to be actually a pind, not even an urban pind. And this was all jungle. I remember when I was young, then I had cheetal, the spotted deer. I had a baby cheetal in my room. Like,
My God.
I was on the
That's
first,
amazing.
I was on the first floor of our home, and there was a time when a baby cheetal in the summer months followed my mother, nibbling at khiras in her vegetable bag all the way up,
All the way up.
and then used to come up every day and stayed there till horns had grown and 3.5 years old male deer in the house. And then one day went away, or maybe somebody caught him and made korma out of him. I don't know. I don't know what happened. But yeah, that was a life. Like we had jackals on the place we used to stay. We had Nilgai coming in regularly foraging. Like we had a little vegetable patch, so Nilgai vegetables kind of. But things have changed. Things have
It's
changed.
quite an adventurous childhood you've spent, Paresh,
Very different.
and nowadays we are paying for that adventure to be around,
Yeah.
greenery and such animals which
Yeah.
are very rare,
Yeah.
and you've stayed with them.
Yeah.
So you mentioned about a very interesting thing. The culture and ethos have evolved and changed
Yes.
over these years, and what your parents might have seen is like there's an immense change, and evolution is still happening. I mean,
Correct.
since your school time, college, now work, you have worked in so many places, and
Right.
happy to know that about your professional background a bit.
My professional background. So when I was when I was growing up, my father's family it's an army family. So I always wanted to be a soldier until I saw Indiana Jones. And then I wanted to be an archaeologist. And my father told me, look, boss, in India, archaeologists are on the roadside, begging for alms. The question doesn't arise. My father had a great mechanical bent of mind. Like he could fix anything, weld anything, do anything. And he used to run a poultry farm. So we used to have lots of pumps, fans, blowers, this and that. तो सब कुछ वो खुद ही ठीक करते थे. Truck, tempo, पुरानी Fiat, everything. So he wanted me to be an engineer. I wanted to be a historian or an archaeologist. My marks forced me into a private engineering college in Chennai. So I completed my engineering. I was a mechanical engineer. And then I went abroad to the States to do my master's. I ended up doing a double master's and joined Black and Veatch. And as luck would have it, my specialization was fracture and fatigue mechanics. That led me to the power industry. I did not want to work in the power industry. I wanted to work in the aviation industry because that is where it actually matters. Metal is optimized to a level where fracture and fatigue are indeed concerns. But the power industry, I mean, everything is 2.5, three times heavier than it needs to be. So I was like, मैं यहाँ क्या करूँगा? But that was 23 years ago. No, that was how long back? 2005. That was about 19 years back. 19, 20 years back. And since then, I've been working in the power industry. Began with coal-fired power plants in the States. Moved on to combined cycle power plants. And then finally, FGDs, flue gas desulfurization. I don't know whether this is of interest. Why it is interesting is because now the cycle is complete. And I'm here in India. I'm working at GE Vernova currently, and we are wrapping up our last FGD, probably our last FGD. I'm not sure, but most probably our last FGD. So what it means is, we did a cycle between 2005 and 2011. This happened in the States. The same thing has happened in India. And now we are back. Everybody knows what is happening. With the energy scene in India, there's a big thrust on renewables. Maybe nuclear is making a comeback. Coal's made a comeback.
Yes.
So 14, it was wiped out. No more coal. We are exiting coal. In fact, my company formally exited coal during that
A
time.
lot of big giants.
Yeah, they did for various reasons.
Various reasons, yeah.
Environmental being one of them. But now coal's making a comeback in India, and let's see where we go. So this is my life. I am a mechanical engineer. I'm working currently as a project manager at GE Vernova. I made the shift from engineering to project management about 7 years ago, a little before COVID struck in 2019. Currently working, helping install and erect FGD plants in India, working on a project in Gujarat right now. So that's what I'm doing. And working with large teams of people, skilled to absolutely unskilled.
So one of the things, so I'm not trying to toot my horn, but because I stay in Bombay and I get to hear this a lot, that the efficiency of work in Bombay is a little superior to other parts of the country.
We hear that as well.
I don't get it.
Right.
But for somebody who is so well traveled and you have, okay, let me digress a little bit. One of the best definitions of culture that I've heard is that culture is the sum total of all the positive behaviors in a system minus all the minus the sum total of all the negative behaviors in a system. Now, when I've also spent some time in Delhi.
Right.
I've spent a lot of time in Bombay and honestly don't understand the difference. Why do you think, or what is the cultural difference that is causing this gap in efficiency between the two cities or between the two systems, if you say? Because for a lot of people sitting out of Bombay, Delhi NCR is one system,
Right.
For people who are aware of this place, Gurgaon and Delhi are now becoming two different systems.
Two different
Yeah.
systems.
So what do you think is causing this? For somebody who's so well traveled, you will have a point of observation on this.
I think all of us have a point of view regarding this. This has been a debate uh, that has been around for a long time. Bombay versus Delhi. I'll give it some perspective.
Yeah, please.
I did my engineering in Chennai.
Yeah.
And this was between 96 and 2000. And my college had a strength of a few thousand, but there were only 6 North Indians over there. That was the first time when I realized that a North Indian in the non-North Indian part of India is a boor, is a borderline criminal, is somebody who is known for his indiscipline, is somebody who is known for his inefficiency, is somebody who is inherently unethical, uh, and a lot of other not so complimentary attributes that were associated with me just because I was from Delhi. And in fact, the epithet that I was called by almost everybody who knew me and didn't know me in college was Delhi Rowdy. So Delhi's reputation preceded me, and I wasn't that rowdy. I wasn't.
But you were just labelled
I
because
was
you belonged
labeled.
to
In
that
fact, I
place.
used to think that a lot of the people who were pointing this finger at me were a lot rowdier than I was, and I was quite puzzled by
I
it.
was in Chennai for 3 years. I have been called Rowdy.
Rowdy, yeah. So you're a rowdy. Now, why that reputation? There must be good reason for it.
Yeah.
You've heard, I'm not going to elaborate it, but there's an acronym very popular in Bangalore, the TDC. Okay, so some of us know what it means, and a lot of us may not know, but it's not worth knowing. But again, it is a derogatory epithet for people from Delhi. So I think what happens with Delhi is that since the population has been ravaged time and again, they are not people who work like maybe they've got an individual streak. Okay, maybe they've got their own way of doing things, and maybe they work better in smaller, tighter groups where concepts of loyalty, concepts of fealty, they supersede concepts of alignment, concepts of commonality through larger groups, and that causes what is called a lack of efficiency. I don't really think we are inefficient. I think we are just we get things done differently.
Exactly.
And definitely, I think we tend to be more comfortable cutting corners, making our own process, not really abiding by top-down commonalities that may be driven to, facilitate a larger number of people driving bigger goals than we could achieve with our own gang of 3, let's say. So I think this is the main difference, not only between Bombay and Delhi, but even working abroad and coming back in Delhi and working. And now that we are working in Delhi, like for example, my place of work, it's not just Delhi folk. It's not just Punjabis and Biharis who are working together. The rest of India is with us.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, it's everybody from all parts of India.
True.
There aren't too many people from Bombay because Bombay has maybe
The debate goes
yeah,
on.
the debate goes on. But there are people from everywhere in India. So there are inherent inefficiencies that are driven by people who belong to Delhi, who've been in Delhi for the past 40, 60 years, and then there are inefficiencies that happen when. So India is diverse,
Yes.
right? And everybody is carrying cultural baggage and trauma. So when you move to a big city, it's one traumatized person meeting another traumatized person, and then you have to work together. So I think Bombay faces similar challenges also.
One of the things which I've had to do repeatedly over the last 15 years
Right.
is have long drawn arguments over Delhi because I like the city.
I'm glad I
Yeah,
do too.
and what I've tried telling people again and again is that for good or bad, Delhi has a very strong culture. You know what that city is about. For good or bad, you may want to debate is it good, is it bad, is it nasty, that is up to you. But for good or bad, Delhi has a very strong culture, and that will always be a compelling reason to be in a city like Delhi.
How often are you able to make your point in like h- like a debate like this? I would imagine you are setting yourself up for failure,
Yeah.
right?
So at the end
There'd
of
be a
the
lot of
at the
opposition.
end of the day, it boils down to one particular point where I have to shut up,
Right.
and it is
Yes.
related to the ladies.
Oh yes,
Yeah. So
yes.
that is where I have to shut up,
Yeah.
which is a very valid point.
Yeah.
But
It's absolutely
but
absolutely true.
yeah, it is an extremely valid point,
Yeah.
and there is no running away from that fact.
Yeah.
But the point is, it is as with everything in life, the city of Delhi has its context, and I find the city very compelling, and
I do too.
yeah, I find the city very compelling. So, for example, there are other places in the country where everything is good, but it's meh, and I don't want to stay there.
Awesome.
Yeah, so
Shonali is disagreeing. She's like, no, I like Bombay better any day.
I was just about to
No,
say
no,
this. Though I've stayed in Delhi for a long time.
Bombay
but
is
yeah.
not May.
Right.
Bombay is a training school.
Right.
If you're not fit, Bombay will spit you out.
Spit you
Right.
out.
Yeah, so
True.
that's a very tough city.
Right.
But when I'm talking about the other places in the country, I'm not talking about Bombay.
Right.
But there are other places which are just, okay, everything is nice,
Right.
everything is fine, the
Right.
roads are great, but it's May. And I don't want to stay in a city like that. But Delhi is not that. It is, for good or bad, it has got a very strong streak.
It's got
of-
a culture. It's
yeah,
got a
yeah,
vibe.
yeah,
It's got a vibe.
yeah.
That's for
Absolutely,
sure.
absolutely. And that is the point that I was trying to drive. That when we are talking about how now a city is at the end of the day, along with history, society, everything, it's also the way the city works, right? So you have worked in the US, so New York is very different to Los Angeles. So people
Yes.
are working completely differently. So what do you think is the translation of what you have just described as the city of Delhi is? How do you think that is translating to what you're getting to see in your teams day in, day out?
Yeah, so I again won't look at my teams through a Delhi lens. I can't.
You can't.
Because most of the people I am working with are not people. They find themselves in Delhi. They may have been in Delhi for the past 10 years, 15 years, 8 years, 6 years, whatever. But they are here because their profession brings them to Delhi. They are still building an affinity with the city. They are still coming to terms with the city. And that is not really foremost on their mind. What is foremost on their mind is they have come bearing a certain cultural context. And more than Delhi, when you're working, and again, just a disclaimer here, this is not my employer's view, but when you are working for a concern like GE Vernova,
Yeah.
boss, there is a certain level of culture that you need to adopt immediately when you cross the threshold and become a GEV employee. And I am going to say this again. A lot of multinationals have this. They want to stamp you and make you behave in a certain way. But I felt this when I was in the States anyways. The States, the cultural ethos of the States is a Protestant Christian ethos. Okay, it may be debatable, but maybe
Yeah.
like if one was to put a socio-religious context to the USA, then I think it would be accurate to say this. A lot of people may disagree,
Yeah.
but I felt it. And what happens there is that conformity to what is considered right. What is right? There is a standard works for what is right. B, conformity to what is right is non-negotiable. Now, what happens in GE, whether you are working in GE Delhi, whether you're working in GEV now because we have Vernova,
Yeah.
when you're working in a concern like this, whether you're working in Delhi or Bangalore or Bombay, your challenge isn't Delhi, Bangalore, Bombay. Your challenge is understanding what the concern expects from you and conforming and then adding value within those boundaries. So our challenge is when we are working with our teams. Now let's see our teams. So we've got people who've most of the people we are working with are engineers, right? They were engineers once upon a time. They may be managers now. They may be mid-level managers. They may be executives
But
within the
pedigree is
company.
engineering,
But
it's like, yeah.
they have served some time as as engineering students, and they have served for some time in some guise as an engineer. BTechs, MTechs, PhDs, all the way down to the helper at site who may be barely literate. Okay, and when you are working on a project, let's say an erection project, let's say an EPC project, which is what I happen to be working on, then you've got a 5 to 10%. So let's say you have a team of 700 people who are all working to get a project delivered within a period of 36 to 48 months. So out of those 700 people, you've got about 70 odd people who've gone to college, maybe another 100 odd who've sort of gone to college, and then you've got various degrees of education. And you're working in a place like Delhi, but you're also working in what we refer to as the rural parts of India, Dehat. Because your power plant is probably going to be 40 odd kilometers from a very small town.
Yeah.
And it is going to be located in a village.
This will be remote and
Yeah, it'll be remote. It'll be remote.
It'll be remote.
So you've got people bringing in skill sets from all kinds of economic backgrounds and all kinds of education. So it's quite dynamic. There's a lot of flux, and getting people aligned, getting people passionate, getting people to feel proud, to feel accountable, and being able to deliver on a job such as ours it's a human problem. It's a human challenge. When done right, it is extremely satisfying. It's so much bigger than Delhi, Bombay, or Delhi, New York, or
Beyond
Bombay, New York. It's
cities, yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
So it's beyond cities. It's beyond everything. It's done right and done wrong. It is such a disaster that, frankly, it'll hit your bottom line, and that will be a real pain. Your bosses may give you a lot of pain for that. But what's really going to make you feel bad and make you lose sleep is that, you had the trust and the responsibility of a team of people, and you let them down simply because you weren't good enough. And I think this is true with anybody who's working with people. And if you're working in this industry, I think everybody will agree. People are the soul of this industry. Tech is, processes, standard works, you name it, all kinds of international and national standards and regulations and statutory compliances. These are all aside. It's basically a people effort. People are putting in their blood, sweat, and toil to make these infra projects happen, and actually not for much pay either. It's not an
Lucrative.
industry that's
Yeah.
that's pulling in money, and we aren't partying in the best of clubs, and we aren't taking our international vacations. But again, the experiences that you have working with teams like this, especially when the teams are working, मैं हिंदी में कहूँगा रोंगटे खड़े हो जाते हैं आपके.
Yeah.
When done right, a day done right, you see grown men walking back to the site office with tears rolling down their eyes. That is the kind of satisfaction.
I so resonate with this, Parish,
Yeah.
because I've lived this life. I've seen
Yes,
all my life.
that's
My
what-
parents,
sorry.
because
Oh my God.
my father has worked
Yes.
in a power plant.
Yes.
I literally I grew up in that culture of power plant township,
Yes.
where all our engineers around me, they are setting up such big power plants, and their satisfaction of erecting and commissioning a
Yes.
unit
Yes.
is all the level different from what we are talking about cultural difference
Yes.
or the
It is a
harmony.
different-
It is a different feeling
different
altogether.
field.
So when I was working with L&T,
Right.
we were an EPC
Yes,
company,
you
and I
are
was
the EPC company
yeah.
probably, yeah.
So and I was part of the power business. So I've seen that life. I've seen the expression and the satisfaction or the dissatisfaction
Yes.
also on the project managers' faces.
Yeah.
And I can so relate. And fortunately, keh lijiye, yeah, Kismet, my husband also is from the same field. Now he works with Flo Daniel, but he's also from a project management background. He's doing the similar kind of profile that you're into. So it's all about people.
It's
Most
about-
business problems are actually people problems. If and we agree to it, we don't agree to it. Today we are debating that AI will replace human, but I think the kind of industries you're talking about.
Yeah, it's going to be a little while before AI
Yes.
replaces the people who are working
Yeah.
in this industry. That is for sure. Not to negate the impact
Negate.
of AI. AI is the
Yeah,
boss.
we cannot.
AI is the boss, but yeah, it's not taking over these jobs.
These
It
jobs.
doesn't want to take over these jobs. It'll take up the good jobs. But these jobs are hard jobs, and
Hard
these jobs. I was at the airport. I had picked up this book by General Tiny Dhillon, एंड उसके ब्लर्ब में पीछे लिखा हुआ था कि फौज जो है ना एक मोहब्बत है
मोहब्बत
और मोहब्बत में चैलेंज नहीं होते, अफसाने अफसाने होते हैं. तो मैंने ये अपने प्रोजेक्ट के लिए बना दिया था. उस टाइम मैं
Amazing.
ऊंचार जॉब कर रहा था. मैं अपनी टीम से भी ये कहता था, खुद को भी यही बताता था कि ये एक मोहब्बत है और मोहब्बत में चैलेंजेस नहीं होते, मोहब्बत में अफसाने होते हैं. डन राइट अफसाने होते हैं. यू आर लेफ्ट विद स्टोरीज,
स्टोरीज.
और दो स्टोरीज ना वो आपके बिल्कुल वॉर स्टोरीज होती हैं. आप जब शाम को बैठते हो तो आप
Exactly.
कहते हो यार मजा आ गया, कुछ करके आए.
That's
नो, इट्स
very
समथिंग एल्स. इट्स अ ग्रेट फीलिंग. सो द कमिंग बैक टू योर क्वेश्चन, Delhi, Bombay, inefficiencies, etc. It's not that. When a bunch of people work together under pressure and they need to conform, why do we need to conform? Let's examine that. Why do we need to conform? A lot of people tell me, "Arey yaar, bhai, I can do this and I can do this better than what I'm being told to do." Maybe. But that is not for us to decide. There is a reason why we have all this bloody process in place. Sorry, pardon my French.
That's okay.
This process is there so that all of us together can achieve what none of us alone can achieve, or
Yeah.
even be audacious enough to aspire to. We need to understand that, and then within that, there is a lovely thing that was a big leitmotif of how to work within our company. It was called the spirit and the letter. And what it said was, here's the letter, get to know it. But remember that what prevails is the spirit. As long as we are aligned in spirit, the letter is what it is. Let not the letter mar the spirit. I think those of us who have internalized this have been able to do wonders for our employer and for ourselves. We've been able to achieve things that we did not know we could achieve for ourselves. Forget anybody else. So I think that's a big plus side. I think when that happens, something bigger than
That's a high.
that's a high. That's a high, and that's a high because I think anybody who's worked on a project type job knows that when you start out you're like, dude, ये होगा कैसे?
कैसे
Yeah.
होगा?
कुछ छोटी सी चीज ले लो
Massive
आप.
goal है
हाँ,
ना?
नहीं, massive goal को छोड़ो आप. Let's say it's a small project. You are inviting 50 people for dinner. Okay, and you've got 7 days.
Right.
And you've got whatever help you have. Maybe you have a younger brother or sister. Maybe you have some help at home. Maybe you have a partially willing spouse. Whatever. Now you've got to do it. Now once it's done and it's done right, there's a high. Now just multiply that 100 times, and
100
that's your
times.
job.
That's a job.
So people who are taking it like this are doing fantastically, and I think the main difference that I noticed when I so I worked for 10 years in the States, and then I came to India. And in India, there's a joke, all of us drive, and on the roads we're always in a rush, but inevitably Indians are late to wherever they need to be. So this is something that translates into the workplace also.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's very difficult.
Yes.
Lots of challenges. All the meetings are very hot. There's a lot of tussle to and fro, tug of war. But results हमारे इतने, like you were talking about inefficiencies, there are plenty of inefficiencies that need to be ironed out. And I think one of the reasons why that is happening is, again, because people call it cultural baggage. I call it trauma. I think what happens is when 20 of us sit together, it's 20 people who forgot to overcome their trauma before they decided to sit down together. So if we have a 40-minute meeting that goes on for 3 hours and we achieve 15 minutes worth of work, the reason is that we have spent all that time basically trauma battling with one another. So in India, the word ego is used. It's not ego. It's bigger than ego.
Bigger than
It's not unconscious bias. It's bigger than unconscious bias. It's actually stuff that you need
hardwiring.
you need to think about it. It may be a self-awareness problem. It may be a self-awareness problem. It may be that our leaders are people who have decided to under various pressures take on roles that they didn't realize would have a very large servant component to them. And now they find themselves floundering. It may be people who are trying to manage managers in a way that is reminiscent of the younger Mughals trying to depose the elder Mughals. So these are issues. Like I think Japan dealt with it over a 100+ year period in post the Meiji Restoration, wherein they changed their culture. They said ऐसा नहीं चलेगा.
ऐसा नहीं चलेगा.
ऐसा नहीं चलेगा. तो you will have to change. It has to be large groups of people who are aligned as per the job at hand, and what is sacrosanct is that all of us together achieve the job within the time, as per the scope, within the budget, and with the quality that is required. So I think we are still working on that, and over a period of time it's getting better, and I think people are changing. Corporate pressure may not be making monkeys out of all of us. Maybe there is something good that is coming out of corporate pressure.
Definitely things have evolved, and
yeah.
people have also changed and have tried changing their hardwirings. They
No,
have
also
become more
this
adaptable.
concept of continuous improvement.
Yes.
Yeah.
For me, it's a new concept, boss. Relatively new concept. I was told, what were we told as children? 10th कर लो सब ठीक हो
सब ठीक हो
जाएगा.
जाएगा.
12th कर लो सब ठीक हो जाएगा. IIT चले जाओ सब ठीक हो जाएगा. अरे पागल हो. That is not how it works. Regardless of whatever you do,
True.
unless you are improving every day, you are probably sliding down. And if you are sliding down, you are going to be in trouble. Now, this is something that almost every corporate is telling you, whether it be Kaizen or whether it be some other name. And the reason why I go on about corporate is because unfortunately I haven't done, like we were talking before the podcast, I haven't done my own thing yet. But when you do your own thing, these things take on a relevance that is way more than when you're a salaried employee, and you guys have done it, so you know it better than I do.
But since you're referring to that discussion, we were also talking about something that I have experienced personally, and that is, making estimations on the basis of potential.
Yes.
Making estimations on the basis of potential, and I can only imagine how critical that might be when it comes to project management. So what's your take on that? Because
I'll tell you, I thought about this. We'd spoken about this the first time when we spoke, you mentioned this.
Yeah.
So I thought about it. The irresponsible answer is you are stuck with whom you have, and you make the best of a bad situation.
Which is true.
Okay.
Which is true. You have to make do with what you have.
Right.
So,
but I think, like, immediately when you were saying what you were saying, I remembered my sister's words. She's very good with managing teams, and she told me, look, when you take up a job now, once you've decided you got to take up a job, there are only two options.
Yeah.
There are only two things that can happen, not options. There are only two situations that can happen. The first is everything in the job is great and you love it. Great. 50% of the battle is won.
Psychologically.
Psychologically and otherwise also.
And
You love your
otherwise
job,
also.
you love the people you are working with. It's fantastic. It's so good.
It's your family then.
Yeah, maza aa gaya bhai. वो भी होता है, किस्मत
वो भी
है.
होता.
But the other thing is you hate it. So the first thing you've got to do is you've got to change things around, and you got to start loving it, loving the job, loving the people you work with. Okay, so you hired somebody, you thought it was a high potential hire and he's going to do great things. And either over a period of time things changed or you misjudged. What do you do? What do you do? So the easiest thing would be you farm him out. Okay, and you swap him somebody who's better. If you have that liberty, then everybody would like to do that.
Yeah.
But how many times can you do that? Even a large corporation which allows for a certain amount of flexibility that maybe a startup won't, will give you one chance, twice, thrice. The fourth time they're going to be like, dude, it's on you. Maybe the problem is you, maybe we need to farm you out and swap you. And
your judgment's
then
bad.
you're in trouble. So what do you do? So traditionally, the starting point would be, and I'm going to be very blunt here, either the carrot or the stick.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in my opinion, it's always the carrot that works better. And I think the first thing you need to do is, and it's very hard, is forge some kind of a personal relationship with this lady or gentleman. This person whom you thought would perform. So there was something that caught your eye. If you were the hiring manager, or if you were part of the hiring process, then there was something that caught your eye. ऐसा तो हो नहीं सकता कि आपने, unless there was a conflict of interest and you were pressurized into taking
You must
that,
have not hired somebody
हाँ,
blindly.
if you've hired somebody, then there was something you liked about that person. So it's kind of like a marriage gone sour.
Marriage gone.
So you start thinking about what it was that attracted you to that person in the first place, and then you see whether you can leverage that and shoehorn those skills into your particular task, and maybe those skills are better aligned to a certain function and not so well aligned to the function that the lady or gentleman currently is assigned to. If that doesn't work, then you try that with people who are with people who are aspiring for that job, and let those people come in and support this weak link, and hope that the job gets done timely. This is all that I can think of. Otherwise, you live with it and you regret your decision or the decision of your colleagues. But yeah, the work improvement like I'm not a fan of the WIP where you are assigned to an improvement program, which is basically just
Letting you know that you're
letting you know that
Yeah.
your time's up, because so I have been fired from multiple jobs, and I'm going to say something that I think it's very difficult when you don't have money and you don't have a job, but it was for the best.
True.
It was for the best.
Yeah, because-
it happened when I, as somebody who was adding value, stopped adding value because the job stopped making sense to me, but I did not have the courage to chuck that job.
Yeah.
And the first time it happened, I was actually heartbroken. I said, yeah, how dare they? I am such I gave my life for this very job. But no, I did, yes. And in fact, my boss, he was, my boss at that time, he was an 81-year-old guy. He was 81 years old, but still serving because of his expertise. And he called me and he said, you seem very downcast. I said, yeah, I've just been let go. He said, why do you think that happened? I said, I have no idea. I gave my lifeblood for this job. He said, okay, when was the last time you gave your lifeblood for the job? So I said, about 3 months ago. He said, exactly. So what have you been doing for the past 3 months? I said, well, I've been hoping for a raise and for increased responsibilities.
Yeah.
So he said, did you do anything about that? Did you talk to the HR, for example, or did you come to me, or did you talk to somebody about that? I said, no, I went out
I was
for
just
drinks with my
waiting.
buddies and I told them, this is unfair. I should have been considered for this. So he said, now, maybe there's a lesson here.
This is
Because for the past 3 months, all we see you do is come in at 9 o'clock and leave at 5 o'clock and really not do much. And we don't want you around. Like, he's right.
But there is something very so if you look at it objectively, and I know because we're dealing with human beings, it becomes sounds very cruel. But if you look at it objectively, we are at the end of the day a factor of production.
Yes.
And after a point of time, the companies have to look at it in
They do.
in some way. Even if you're running a small firm, you have to look at
Numbers
it
matter, yes.
Yeah. So it sounds really cruel, and because we associate talent, potential, everything with that particular human resource. But if your land, labor, capital, enterprise, if they are not in sync, your business is...
How do you manage?
Yeah, business is not doing well. Anyway,
No, please continue.
No.
It's an important point.
important point, because what we are talking is that harmony that we want to build. If that's not there,
No, because
what's-
we are coming to the end of our scheduled
know,
time.
I know.
That's why
I know, I saw it.
I made a pertinent point, but then... So, economics was once called the bastard science because of this very reason, because it was taking the humanity away from labor.
Yes.
And
Resource. Now you're a resource.
you are a resource. You are just a number in a register.
Yeah.
And after a point of time, if you're running a business, at at some level, you are thinking on those lines as well, because you're hiring, you're paying,
Yes,
and
that
the
temptation is there,
and
yes.
and the what also happens is that paying people is also huge bleed on the cash flow.
Yeah.
So people have to take that call. And from the point of view of the employee, what I have experienced in the past is, if you do not like a job, A, you will not contribute, B, it will kill you.
Yeah, it will.
It absolutely kills you. It ruins your health. I have seen so many healthy, fit people going to doctors, taking all sorts of medicines, and that is not working for either the company or you. So it might be in your interest that you
let
move.
that
Yeah,
person go.
let that go.
I agree.
Anyway, I heard a very cringy line that day. I know, very cheesy, but it is so apt. So that, what does the clutch tell you?
Okay.
What does the clutch tell you? Yeah. So letting go is a way of moving forward. So it's so cheesy, but somehow
That's how you get slapped by the person you let go. Hey, come here.
What
Let me tell you what I think of this pearl of wisdom. But yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah, it's a way of moving forward.
we have had a great conversation.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we are coming to the end. And
Yes.
thank you for Paresh for making time. And
No, thank you. Thank you for
you're
giving me
always
this
welcome,
opportunity.
because this was so nice. And
And there was so much lot to
So-
talk.
so much
now.
more
Yeah,
to
I
Still
mean,
we are
could,
left
we
with
could go
so-
on.
Yeah.
So we'll have to do
But
this
again,
We have to do this again, Paresh. You will
it's
have
a
to park
numbers
some
thing.
time.
It's a numbers.
Time is a resource.
No, I really liked it. I really
Yeah.
appreciate the time you guys gave me and this opportunity. Like I said, I mean, I could go on for another several hours. It's something that's very close to my heart, and I think done right, it gives dividends. It makes your life much better. Like you said, the flip side is, when it's not working, it'll ruin your health. When it is working, it'll make you a better person.
Yes.
So, Paresh, we have just scratched the surface. I mean, we definitely should do this again.
Yes.
Let's.
Yeah, and we'll make arrangements. Don't worry, we'll reach out to you. This is fantastic, and we couldn't have thought of a better or got a better start to what we are trying to do over here. So let's do this again.
Sam told me that, so thank you for your confidence. I had a lovely time, and I really appreciate
glad.
this opportunity. बहुत मजा आया. Thank you.
Great.
हमें भी बहुत मजा आया.
बहुत
Paresh.
मजा आया.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Paresh. Thanks.
Thank you so much.